We're very lucky here this evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming in for the evening to have some fun here with Cindy Paul, who's from Northern Alberta, and she's very connected to her roots, and it comes through in her music. And she's a songwriter, producer, and visual artist, and she's been nominated by New York Native American Music Awards, Western Canadian Music Awards, Canadian Folk Music Awards, wow, Milwaukee's Indian Summer Music Awards. She was featured on a Native North American music compilation CD, Water is Life, to support Standing Rock effort to protect water. She's done workshops and conferences and is the subject of an international documentary right now. And she's maintained her career working in health and wellness as well in Northern Alberta as a nurse, natural health practitioner, and educator. So welcome, Cindy, and take it away.
Thank you for that kind introduction. So I'm really happy to be here. I just want to thank you to Chiefs of Ontario Women's Initiative for inviting me to do this. Of course, to ArtsCan for having me a part of their team. So my name is Cindy. I'm from Northern Alberta and right kind of the tip of Northern Alberta. There's not much room between where I'm from and the territories border, so I'm way up there. And it's cold here right now. Actually, it's a warm day today, but it's been a cold winter. I've been working with ArtsCan Circle for about 5 years, and I just wanted to, before I talk about myself, I kind of wanted to tell you about ArtsCan Circle. And ArtsCan Circle is a nonprofit organization which brings instruments to students and remote First Nations communities. And this really, really meant a lot to me when I started working with ArtsCan, because I grew up in a remote community, and music meant the world to me, and it was everything for me. And it kept me going when there was nothing to do. It kept me busy. It allowed me to express my feelings when I was feeling sad, and allowed me to heal through every life experience I ever had. So when I connected with ArtsCan Circle, it was my opportunity. I felt like to give back to other kids and to want to bring music and the love of music and instruments into their communities. So ArtsCan Circle, it has a website where you can go on. I'll put a link in the chat. How you can access the instruments is on there, and also how you can donate and be a partner with ArtsCan Circle. Right now, because of COVID, it's a little different. When I started with ArtsCan Circle, we were going into communities quite often. There were 16 communities across Canada that ArtsCan Circle works with, and I've went to quite a few of them because I was working with them quite a long time. The organization itself was founded by a harmonica player, Mike Stevens, and he, to this date, has given out more than 50,000 harmonicas to these communities. So it started with giving harmonicas out, and then it developed into artists going in there. So we take in some fiddles, or we take in some guitars, and then at the end, we work with the students, and at the end of it, we have a community event. Because of COVID, a little has changed. So right now, you can access the virtual workshops on the website. And there's also 2 initiatives going on, which is Healing Through Music, which is in the James Bay area, and in-person workshops in Pekanjikam with a person that lives in that community. So there's not really any travel going. But I really look forward to, when we can travel again right into those communities. So ArtsCan opens pathways of opportunities for First Nation, Inuit, and Métis youth to collaborate with artists, access the instruments and the tools, and then share it with the community. Sometimes we just have community events, or sometimes we make videos and share them online. So I'd like to share one video with you after I talk about ArtsCan. Of when it was one of the first years I worked with ArtsCan, and we were there for a week. So within a week, we wrote a song with the kids. At the end of the week, we made a video. Because of community events, we couldn't have a celebration because something happened in the community. So we made a video instead, and we celebrated that way. So it kind of worked out because now I can share the video. So that's my little blurb about ArtsCan. um, like I said, I'll put the link in the chat so you can learn more about that. I'll also put the link in the chat with my website, and you can learn more about what I do and a little bit of my history. I don't want to talk too much about myself. I've been playing music since I was just a kid. One of the things about music I learned is the power of music, like the power to make change, the power to heal, the power for self-expression where sometimes words just don't cut it. Music reaches a different place. You know, it took me a long time. Like I knew that was how it was, but to really think about why is that? Like why does music make you react differently emotionally, spiritually than just maybe reading something or getting a lecture or listening to someone. It's because it uses a different part of the brain. So in your left side of the brain, there's all these things like reading, math, all your logical side of the brain. And in your right hemisphere, there's these where you dream, where you listen to music, where you dance, where you have that ability to create art, where you do those things instinctively without even thinking. In that right hemisphere of the brain, that's where music lives. So when you're listening to a music, any trauma you're holding, the left side of your brain kind of stops it. It's like, it's logical, right? It's thinking logic, but the right doesn't stop it. So your right hemisphere allows you to really heal through music. And I won't get into too much about, but that's kind of what the healing power of music is and why like it's so important to get that music into communities and allow us as, you know, Indigenous people to tell our stories. Because I always say to the kids, if we don't tell our stories or sing our own songs, someone else is gonna write them and sing them for us. And we don't want that, right? We want to be the ones telling our own stories. I'm also going to share a few different stories. I know we have an hour and it's quite a long time about one of the songs I wrote, you know, 30 years ago as a very, very young adult, and how that was like a lifelong healing process for me, and right to this day continues to be. But first, I'd like to share with you one of the songs I did with the students with Pakanjikum First Nation. And it's a song called I Wish I Could Fly. This was one of the first communities I worked with.
I'm so tired and it's cold outside, so isolated. I feel numb inside, and the dogs they bark at night, and the moon it shines so bright. I'm pretending, and I'm scared of letting go. All this drinking, I don't wanna go back home, and my sisters are all gone, and I'm here all alone. I wish I could fly. I wish I could fly. I wish I could fly. Street lights flickering, suicide visiting, and I want you to come home. I am hurting, but I'm still walking tall. no matter what goes on. Mi shibuni mini que, mi shibuni mini que. I wish I could fly. I wish I could fly. I wish I could fly. Ah, 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 ah. Mi shibuni mini que, mi shibuni mini que, mi shibuni mini que, mi shibuni mini que. I wish I could fly. I wish I could fly. I wish I could fly.
We did that in a week. So we flew into Pikanchika, me and another gentleman, Kevin, and we spent time, and all those little sticky notes is what they wrote all their feelings down and how they were feeling. So when is different, and every song is different. So it all depends on the community and what people are going through. That's what's going to come through in the music. So at that time, the kids were just releasing their emotions. And it's a very healing thing. They started playing that song in the morning before classes started for the whole school. And they also sang it at their Christmas concert because we went in the late fall, so pretty close to Christmas. So they actually got up and they sang that for their school. And it was very, very healing for the community and for the kids. So yeah, that's the power of music and how we have the ability to express ourselves with music. How we wrote that, if in the video you could see the kids writing on the little sticky notes. So I'm gonna use that same process with you. So if you want to use that in your classrooms or in your groups or your youth groups or whatever your working community, it's a really, really good way. Because sometimes, and I'm going to say this, like 80% of the communities I went to and the students and not just kids, this is for adults too, they were afraid to speak about what they were thinking. And they needed some anonymity too, because they didn't really want to say out loud some of the things they were feeling. One of the things we did was the sticky notes, nobody knew who wrote what on them. So we would all just get sticky notes and write our feelings, and they were all mixed up. So it gave them a sense of, they just got to express their feelings. At the end of every residency, when I do my songwriting workshops, we always make a fire and we offer our words back to the fire and give tobacco and say prayers for all those feelings and everything the kids wrote down to make sure that they're feeling heard. And that's one of the ways we use to express them, giving them that feeling that they just didn't write those words down for nothing and that they're being heard. That's kind of the thing. We just don't want them to write it. We want them to feel like too that they're being heard. And sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes is to feel like we matter, right? And that we're being heard and someone's listening to us. Like this, we're going to use the chat as our sticky notes. So we're going to try to do this songwriting. I do have a document. So what I'll do is as we write our feelings in our words, we're going to write them in the chat and I'll copy and paste them into this document. And I'll kind of show you. And believe it or not, by the end of this, we're going to have a little bit of a song, even if it's just one chorus, just to give you an idea how you can use this exercise and continue to keep using it in your work that you do with communities. So our goal today is just to have fun and be creative. So we're not looking for Grammys here. We're just wanting to have fun and to use songwriting like as a form of expression and most of all healing. As I'm writing, as I'm talking, I want you to feel free to write things in the chat about, it could be just something that's on your mind. You can write it like a song lyric, you can write just one word, or you can write anything, how you're feeling. I know one of the things that happened recently is, more unmarked graves were found in Williams Lake. And, that got my heart heavy and thinking about that. And this actual workshop is for the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. So, if you want to write about that, we can focus on that theme. What do you think, ladies? I wonder, Nancy or Barb, or anybody, if you can chime in. Do you want to keep it in one theme together, or do you want to just write a song about feelings?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we're already getting people giving us some good words right here, their feelings that they're sharing.
We're not going to write about a theme like about missing and murdered, or we're not going to write like any kind of theme. Let's just write a song about feelings, okay? So I like these. So shaking the blues away. Crazy Corona. Nice. So there's our songwriting and the healing power of music. So let's grab some of those lyrics and get it over there. And I can kind of, just give you a little quick way of how actually we wrote that song in Pikangikum. I wonder if anyone has a story to share about like how music has affected you, and how do you think we can use it to feel, shake these feelings of isolation, and how we can use it in our communities. Does anyone have anything to share?
I do. Tim Hardy. I'm going to talk about how myself and my daughter got involved with being in choral music. I brought her in from my reserve to the city of Thunder Bay when she was only 6 years old. We drove through a heavy storm and we came to the auditorium, and Carmina Burana was playing that night. So anyway, about 15 years later, my friend asked me to come down and listen, and said, "Can you want to join the choral group?" I said, I don't know. I'm just a little bit leery about singing." He says, "Well, come and listen anyway." Finally, my daughter convinced me, said, "Let's go down and listen." We went down and listened, and when we saw what was on the itinerary for that fall, it was Carmina Burana. So she said, "Let's grab it, Dad, let's grab it." So we started singing then. Ha ha ha.
Are you still a part of that choral group?
Yes, we are. But with the corona right now, it's a little difficult. We're sort of holding off for a bit, but we're still involved with music. I'm in 3 other choral groups.
I'm Jocelyn.
Why are you so close to my face?
Yeah, I write short stories and poems. That's why whatever I'm putting here, I wrote about the feeling, and that's a way of healing too, is my writing. I'm gifted like that, but I was thinking before I came on, I've been doing this for a long time, but I didn't really put nothing on paper, right? Yeah, but I've been saving them. Looks like I book the way I
in there.
Oh,
Pushing the snow forward to cover it.
oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be part of any input that will help us, to go through life. And music for me, it's dancing. I could dance. I love music. I love listening to it. It takes you back to certain songs, back when you're young. There's so much through music you learn. The sacredness of us, that's all I could say about music and writing. Hey, Gretch.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a way to express our feelings and get work through our feelings too. I know for myself, I felt like it almost saved my life sometimes. Being able to write a song and then sing it. And it also brought me joy and helped me work through a lot of things.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm wondering, would it be okay to share a poem that I wrote?
Yes, please do that.
I wrote this poem because I love birds. I wrote this in the wintertime, and one of my inspirations was a chickadee, and another was this lady that I would pass on my way to work. She had a bruised face, and it really, really inspired me to write this poem. It's called A Bird Song, The Bird Song. Past wrongs still haunting souls. Woman with a bruised face doesn't know her worth. Man with a bottle and a numb mind. Drowning years of being a victim. Girl losing her soul to a small little pill. Losing her soul to forget generations of pain. Pool of hope. Only those able to cleanse themselves of pain tread here. Moving on like smoke in a bubble, waiting for the bubble of self to burst, to release the long tethered pain into the air of reconciliation and healing. If they could only see how to get out of the me, how to find the values of a long ago day that is theirs to find along their way. If they could only find the warrior that dwells inside, the warrior that wants to be fed, but is drowned, beaten, drugged, stifled, and killed instead. Do they hear the whispered prayers, the ones that go up in smoke, to be carried to the Creator, the songs that are sung, whispered and sung by their loved ones in a hope of a better day, for the people that are still suffering, for that extended hand that will help them up when they have awakened from their painful slumber? Do they hear the children cry, ones who are here and those yet to be born? Heal our nation, they cry. So when we are born, opportunity, hope, love, balance, and harmony will be our life. Strength and wisdom will once again nourish us. If they could only find the warrior that dwells inside, the warrior that wants to be fed, to help the warriors on their way. So we see and we sing the bird song. That's it.
Thank you for sharing. That's beautiful. When did you write that?
I probably wrote that about maybe 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's powerful.
That's wonderful.
There's another about this workshop all week that I've been attending. Once again, friend, I write, like I told you, I write, and it's pertaining to a workshop, and I thought I'd read it to you here. And it's about racism, what we all experience. So, okay, here it goes. It's called I Am Blood. I am blood. My blood flows through me. My wisdom, my priorities, and privileges I carry within me. I am blood. I trust the process of its flow, respecting and honoring you, me, we, and thee. We are at different levels in life and with different abilities. Unique individuals, including the color of our skin. I am blood that flows throughout history and centuries. I am blood. I flow through all cultures, all religions, and all people. I will never stop flowing. This is who that we are. All are, including me. I am blood. We all breathe red. Miigwech blood. And I write like this all the time. And I'm honored that saying that his wife magazine has this in their book, the poetry book that Anwa has. And I wasn't even aware that there was until I was sent to me. So I'm glad my words are reaching out to others, especially about this workshop, because we do experience a lot in agencies and government levels and whatnot. And this is pertaining to racism. Anyway.
Thank you for sharing. I'm going to try and get started and then keep typing all these in. There's really lots. While I'm typing, maybe I can just share one more story with you. We're going to see how we can start putting these lyrics together and how we can create a song with just our feelings. And we can create a song with everybody's feelings. It just doesn't have to come from one person because, we're a community. We're all kind of part of the same energy here. And it feels like everybody's kind of feeling the same, and a lot of isolation. People are feeling really isolated, but there's also positive things like this one, like sunshine warms my heart. Pain is who is not that I am. Oh, that's an awesome lyric. One of the things, and I'm not going to play this song in this session because there's not enough time, but I encourage you to kind of have a listen maybe after. It's a song I wrote called He Can Fancy Dance. And I wrote it when I was 19 going on 20. It was somewhere near my birthday. I was either 19 or 20 when I wrote this song. I'm going on 52 here soon. So this was like over 30 years ago I wrote this song. And this song was a way for me to understand the residential schools because I'm from a little community called Fort Vermilion, and there was a big building that stood in the middle of Fort Vermilion. It was a residential school, and nobody really talked about it. And in school, we didn't learn about residential schools. I went to college, I didn't learn nothing about it. So I come home from college that year, and I was cutting my cousin's hair, and she was a lot older than me, and she started to tell me stories. So that night when I listened to the stories and I couldn't sleep for, my heart was so heavy, and I began to write, and I wrote this song. This song for me was a way to express my feelings, and especially a way to get to sleep that night because I just couldn't sleep. It felt like someone lifted a veil off, and all of a sudden I could understand. I could understand what that building was. I could understand why my cousin was always suicidal, why she had all these issues, but she was a wonderful, wonderful woman, but she struggled. It was like that until I heard her story. That's when I could understand. And that's the thing about writing and sharing our stories. Until you hear somebody else's story, you don't understand. And when people are, talking about these unmarked graves and talking about the missing and murdered women and talking about our feelings of isolation, that's when other people can understand. And that's that really, really powerful tool we have to be able to get our voices out there and get our stories heard. So this song I wrote called He Can Fancy Dance, nobody wanted to listen to it. I traveled all over trying to sing this song. I recorded it. I tried to put it on radio. They wouldn't put it on radio. This was 30 years ago too, right? So 20 years ago, it still wouldn't go on radio. 10 years ago, I still was trying to sing it and I couldn't really get perform. And then about 7 years ago, things started to change. All of a sudden, people wanted to listen. It felt like people were ready. And it took that long, that long to hear a story I was just trying to share from learning myself. I wanted to share that with you because it's really, really powerful what we're capable of, how we can get that message and share and lift each other up and build our communities up, share with one another. So when I'm writing, and when you're writing and you're jotting all these things down, in songwriting, there's a lot of useless words. I call them useless words. And the useless words are like and, the, for instance, lots of sacred fires. You could just say sacred fires, smoke and medicine. So lots of sacred fires or just sacred fires. So when you're trying to sing, you're kind of trying to get rid of all those extra words and you want to really focus on your more meaningful words. So that's one thing I do. So we're going to kind of go through this. And
Well, daughter was just saying you use like certain adages and so
Like,
on.
avoid using adages like phrases that people use all the time. That's what I do. I write music as well. I've been playing guitar for almost 30 years.
yeah, and avoid, if you think your song is sounds like another song, it probably does.
Yeah.
So try that too. Try to change it up. Try to think, well, that sounds like that. And then, but I mean, there is only so many chord progressions. So,
Yeah.
you know, some songs are going to sound like some others, and that's okay, as long as you're not totally copying them. Using lots of descriptive language. So when you're writing, close your eyes and imagine visualizing something. So use that very specific language. The smoke and medicine. You can add smoke rising, medicine burning. See, you can add words like that and make it really colorful. Make it so when you close your eyes, you can actually visualize some of that. So this line is, pick up my gifts from my spirit, shines and reminds me of my grandmother's. So let's kind of shorten that. So we could say, my spirit shines, reminds me of my grandmother. So like you can shorten things too. And I see as you wrote, the more you wrote, I see you were actually expressing how you were feeling. And then I'm looking at the lyrics, I see like some really, really positive things there. So when you're writing too, tell your story, express your feelings, but also you can offer solutions in a kind of like the end of the story too. So lost moccasins, silent tears. So let's just go to the start here. Feeling isolated. I'm so tired and no one told me. I'm so sad. So feeling isolated. So use these words and I'll just give you a little bit of techniques you can get rid of. So not useless, but like when you're songwriting. Feeling isolated, tired, sad. So much no one told me. So you can see, you can still see my screen shared, right? And you can see how I'm taking words out. I also, when I'm working with kids, I'll also kind of group kind of things, what they're saying. So shaking the blues away, crazy corona. My name is the wind. So like my name is the wind would be something you'd probably want to put on a chorus or at the end of the song, because on your choruses you want like something uplifting and positive. So with our gifts coming together from the four directions with love. See, I'm so tired, no one listening. We already have that. So I would cut that. And I could even put like tired. You could even add no one listening up here. So keep in mind, this is writing within a group. The wind dries our tears. That's beautiful. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to make a verse here. I draw strength from the fire. The wind dries our tears. The sunshine warms my heart. Okay, I'm going to grab my guitar now and see if we can try a little bit of this. Okay. If you want to sing along, you can just mute your mic and sing along with the words. So this is a chant. Just before we got online here, I just grabbed a guitar and I kind of wrote. When I'm working with kids, they like to do chants too. So that's an awesome way just to get a melody going even. A shaker, you could shake along. If you got a drum, you could drum along. And then sing along, okay? Way hey hey ah, way hey hey ah, way ah. Way ha hey ah, way ha hey ah, way. much I understand our journey. I'm grateful for this day. Grateful Creator. I draw strength from the fire, and the wind dries our tears. Sunshine warms my heart, sacred fires near. Way hey ha, way hey ha, way hey ha, way hey ha, smoke and the medicine, my spirit shine. I feel cold, I feel all alone all the time. Oh Creator, my tears aren't the only language that our ancestors see and feel. I miss your smile, your laugh, and your cuddles. My heart aches for your touch, your snuggles. That's cute. So you see, pain is not who it's not, because our heart knows, and so does grandmother moon. We're dancing to the beat of the drum. Okay, everybody sing with me now. Way hey ha, yeah, hey, yeah. Way hey ha. Way hey ha, yeah, hey, way hey ha. I draw strength from the fire. The wind dries all my tears. The sunshine warms my heart under this grand mother moon. Way smoke and medicine, my spirit shine, my spirit shine. Way hey hey, way way hey hey, now sing nice and loud, okay guys? With all your heart and all your strength and all your love, okay? Way hey How do you guys feel? It's an awesome song, right?
Yeah, it's very good.
I'll have 30 copies. Wonderful. Okay.
Of course he does.
Well, that was wonderful. Very wonderful. I appreciate it. You're doing a fine job.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe this time next year we'll all get together and sing it together. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Great.
You have a lovely voice there, Cindy.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
All
you
right.
can check more of my stuff. I have a website. It's cindypaul.net. And on that website there's links to all of my work. Also that song too is called He Can Fancy Dance. I'd like you to listen to that and just maybe reflect on, what's happening down there in Williams Lake, and we could all send our good energy towards them, because if we're going to send love and light, we can send it their way and what they're going through right now in that community. So that would be pretty awesome to send our prayers and collective thoughts and love to them.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Cindy. We all really appreciate it.